All right, hello, welcome to the video, guys. So we're going to be playing the SMV CC-56 in this video, and I set up all new crew members. I think I tried to move my crew members from the Basoto to this vehicle, and it's different. It's like a different crew setup. So I ended up just going with all these, like the Ninja Turtle guys, and then this one guy here. But we have basically like a 3 skill, 3 1/3 skilled crew, if you want to call it that. And this tank is like incredibly powerful. I did not know the armor profile was this good, but I've basically been playing this thing kind of like a heavy tank. Honestly, like you don't want to get so close that like your DPM becomes an issue where people can kind of poke on you twice or whatever, because it has 1900 DPM with the standard setup, and you can't run rammer because it has this um, 3 shell autoloader. I was almost wondering if it would be better to use like this gun, but I just don't think it's worth it. The dispersion's a little bit better, but it really, what you're looking for is the higher alpha on a tank like this. And I think if you could be trading shots with people at tier 7 for 320 HP, like you're going to be better off. It's just really weird the way the clip works, because you're at some point you're going to be like going 20 seconds without being able to fire a shell. So you kind of have to make that work. I ran or started running improved aiming class 2 on this in the firepower slot. I think that's the best because the dispersion is not great on this vehicle and the aiming time is pretty high. So you just aim your shots well, and yeah, like what else can you do, man? But I think this makes it so that that medium range game is not so challenging, right? And then I run it with the bounty turbo only because I need everything to be fast, because I play light tanks, right? So this thing is just so slow, and running it with the bounty turbo just makes sense. Like I prefer to have mobility, and then we run it with the optics because you're kind of blind. And again, man, like I'm used to view range, so I try and like cater it to myself as much as I can, if that makes sense. And then if I really, really wanted to, I could just run like optical calibration and get even more view range on it or whatever. But we're just going to run it like this. And again, this is a tier 7 vehicle. Their survivability, like you can look here, 220 hull armor, 260 turret armor. But I'm telling you, like, it really completely depends on the way the armor is angled, right? And so with this thing, you have decent gun depression. You have negative 10 degrees of gun depression. If you're sitting like this, you know, looking at someone with the gun down, I can probably just show one. Tanks GG, we'll just do that. Tanks GG, SMV, CC-56, I think. If you're facing someone in this thing, and again, I'm just going to put it against itself, right, on the gun here. So 212 millimeters of pen. If you're like pointing this thing down at somebody, right, we'll just say it's like you're at like 9 degrees of gun depression or whatever. This is going to be covered, right? So like this whole thing right here, no one's going to be able to see this, right? So what's below this line? Look at like the effective armor, right? And we can go to now the visual. Look at the effective armor if you're angling, pointing down at someone, and be reminded, right, that this is a tier 7 tank. This is not a tier 8 tank. Look at the armor profile on this thing. 250 here. And then on the turret, it's like you might be lucky to hit right here. Like if you're close enough, you kind of hit the gun mantlet here. It's a little weak. But from a distance, like imagine trying to hit this thing, right? And then the little commander's hatch, it's so tiny. You could shoot it right here too and hit this commander's hatch. You can do that. You can see how that's kind of, it depends on the angle, right? But like these are your weak spots, right? And maybe again in the cheeks here. But that's it. From a distance, it's going to be very, very difficult for people to pen you. And you can kind of move the gun around like this to block those hatches and just toy with people, right? But I'm telling you, man, a lot of people don't know of these weak spots in like the gun mantlet. And I've been penned here before, but if people don't know, like you could literally hold back tier 8s in this tier 7 vehicle. And that's why I find it's almost OP. It's a very, very powerful tank, and I know Wargaming is obsessed with these hold down vehicles, but like if there's no arty, this thing, for me at least so far, has been a monster. We're going to get into the games and just see what this thing can do. I don't know, maybe I've been lucky and I've just played it well, but so far I'm averaging around 1600 damage with a 79% win rate over 14 battles. And again, this could soon change, but this is how I feel about the vehicle. I kind of think it's OP at tier 7. Once you get up to tier 8 and 9, I think the tier 7 is the most OP. I am just going to say that based on how I've been playing it, but maybe the armor profile is even more insane on these and the Minotauro and stuff. But I think like you're getting diminishing returns, if that makes sense, on the armor profile. Tier 7 is where you're going to really have it pay off because you could be against tier 5s, you know, and you can only be up to against tier 9, right? You can't be against tier 10s. So I just think the tier 7 is going to be like the most badass tier for this Italian tech tree. I know this is kind of a newer tech tree compared to some of the others, but I haven't played it. You guys know I play light techs. So anyway, full brothers in arms, full concealment, snapshot, smooth ride, situational awareness, intuition, repairs, recon, etc., clutch braking. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get into the games and see what we can do with this vehicle. I'm about to go to work, so it's probably only going to be 3 games, but I wanted to get on and just show you guys this vehicle. 14 battles, I want to do a session in it, and I'm really trying to branch out and give you guys other content. I've been doing World of Tanks content for, it might be like 4 years now, right guys? So I want to branch out and just give you guys other tanks. I'm starting to really try and play different classes and also, you know, different subclasses within those classes and stuff like that. You see me bring out the Waffle Panzer, the Kanonen Jagdpanzer 105. You know, you see me bring out some of these heavies. Like I played the Mitsu 108 recently. The TS-54, we're going to try this SMV, and again, this is going to be a Tier 7 match. So, I'm telling you, man, in these matches, by the way, I also set up, I think I had a video on this, but I have this new setup so you guys can see what I'm running here, and I also took away my little Whirls thing, just because I didn't know where else to put it. So I really liked having that, kind of made my videos unique, but I pulled that off, and so now you guys can see the equipment I'm running and everything. But at Tier 7, this thing, like, from my experience, this is where this vehicle is OP. Now, if you get into a Tier 8 game, okay, maybe not so much, right? And I think what also balances this thing pretty well is that you can't turn the turret all the way, right? And the traverse is very slow. You can see, like, this thing is kind of, like, it feels like a turd, you know, when you're playing it. It's, like, very, very big, right? That's what I call it, you know? I've nicknamed things that can't move very quickly turds, because that's just how I feel about them, right? I think it comes from when Skill for LTU was playing the T103, and he called it like the Turd 103 or whatever it was, and that's where I get it from. But it's very slow, man. It's very, very slow. So that's just the way this tank kind of operates. Okay, we have a Hellcat here. I think we might be able to hit this guy. I'm going to stay in this area. And something else to note, guys, is you also have decent, like, for what this tank is, right, you actually have decent concealment, considering what the tank is, right? So, just thought I would note that. Okay, and look at the Alpha, like, we just cleaned up the Hellcat, no problem, right? So now I come down, and then it's, like, impossible for anyone to really do anything to me here, unless they come around and flank here, right? So now I have to decide if I want to reload. And that's the thing with this vehicle, is, like, when do you reload? Because you have this really long reload for the clip. That's the only thing that makes it weird. Okay, so we'll go on reload now, obviously. It's going to do it automatically for us. And I think we're very comfy here. We can push if we really wanted to, but I'd rather get some more information on where some people are, you know. But you can do it in this vehicle, right? Like, you can push. But you guys know me. I will try and stay as passive as I possibly can, right? Until I need to push up. But in a Tier 7 game, like this is a 6-7 game, this thing becomes, like, pretty much OP, right? So. But you don't want to get flanked. That's another thing. You got to be very careful with kind of how you do that. Okay, here's the M4. And the gun works fine, medium range. You just have to aim all your shots. Definitely have to make sure you aim all your shots. ARL is here now. We're going to come down. Type 64 is pushing. We're going to start turning this way. So I'm actually going to go on reload here and start moving back. I think that's what I want to do here. Because I want to be able to hold against this ARL type. We're going to end up sitting right here, I think. This is the problem with this vehicle, is you don't really have the mobility to run away. So now I have to kind of tuck into this corner. And we could have seen this coming, right? Like, if I was really smart, I could have just left here earlier. But this is what we're going to have now. So we're going to see how this plays out. I would assume that we're probably going to get wrecked here now. But we have to get some support here, right? SB1C is trying to help us. I don't know how well that's going to work. Okay. Just kind of angle ourselves on the ARL here. Yeah, he's going to probably hit the lower plate. The lower plate becomes really weak. That's the problem. You have to be hold down in this vehicle, I find. And we just kind of have run out of support here, unfortunately. That's just the reality, you know. Is what it is. You know, these things happen. Okay, missed that one. That's fine. Kind of angle on the KV here. And we'll just face hug this guy. ARL kind of bounces. Okay, that's the game. 1670 damage, 496 assist. And again, I think if we were smart about this, maybe we could have ran away a little sooner and been like in the back corner, but there's nothing we could have done to win this game, right? Like this was it. This was it. So I think we held it okay. And again, this vehicle doesn't have insane DPM. We got 1 kill. We got 1670 damage out of it, 496 assist. I don't think this is bad considering I don't normally play these vehicles, right? And a slaughter, right? So like, there's just no way we're going to win this game. I would be more upset if this game was like really, really, really close, right? And we could have ran away and maybe got a better spot and win the game, but the thing is, like, when the game is a slaughter, I just don't care as much. You know, I really don't. So, I don't think this was too bad. Like, we're up top here, as I would like to be. And over a 10k WTR for that game. So, could we have maybe tried to, instead of taking the position we took, maybe we went up onto the hills, kind of like where the ARL and Type 64 came around? Could we have poked there instead, perhaps? You know, it's a possibility. I think what it really comes down to is just having the support, and we just kind of ran out of support. My concern is if we go there, people come around and kind of flank, you know, and like you can't turn in this thing. It's just really slow, and that's what always happens to me. Everyone says, you know, SMV or like, you know, whatever tank I'm in, push, and it's like you get there, like T95, right? And then you end up getting whacked in like the lower plates and the side plates because you just can't turn, you know. So I think we're actually going to go this way. And so yeah, that becomes an issue, right? But again, I remind you guys, like, I'm not an expert in any vehicle in this game. I'm the best at lights, but certainly I'm not an expert in any of these vehicles, right? So anyone can obviously play it better than me. It's more just me giving you guys some general advice, but also just so you can see something different, right? So I think we're going to go here. I would like to poke this and see if I can kind of angle out. Let's see. Because I think you can kind of side scrape with this thing. I'm just going to poke out like this, though. Yeah, this M6 isn't going to be able to do really much to us, I don't think. Kind of push this for now. Hit him again. Turn like so. Oof. So that's the thing with this tank that I sometimes forget is like you have to turn the tank with the turret because the turret doesn't turn all the way, right? So now we should be able to make quick work of these guys. We'll be hold down here. Let's see. King Tiger might be a little bit of an issue. Okay. And yeah, this thing hold down, like, it's just incredible, right, guys? And we're kind of close range here. Trying to use the standard ammo. I'm gonna try it. See if we can lower plate this guy real quick. Come down. Okay, he hits me there. It's fine. Yeah, lower plate shot. Okay, is this guy coming all the way down? Don't think that's a very good idea on your part, but that's fine, man. And now we can kind of push this here. I'm terrible at trying to traverse this, so I'm not even going to try. Actually, let's try it. It's fine. I'm just going to come up here instead, though. I'm not going to try and do that whole, like, traverse thing. Okay, we'll stay hold down here. We just got to be careful of Artie, and now we're going to be the ones slaughtering this enemy team, right? So. Just going to hit this guy here. This is what I'm afraid of, is like the tank destroyers and stuff. And I don't want to get stuck here. I don't want to try and traverse this. I don't know if they fixed it or not, but I've never ever tried to do that. I don't want to drown myself, so we're not going to do that. I don't want to get hit by the Su-100 because I'm only at 302 HP. But we're able to put one into the stair, and we're on reload. Yeah, we're just staying hold down, guys. We're just kind of being like the bully here, right? And that's what you can do in this vehicle, I find, when you're top tier. And we've had 2 top tier games, which is ridiculous, because normally I never get that. I'm almost always, you know, at least 1 tier down. See how weird this terrain is over here? Like, I'm literally holding the up keys and you're just kind of sliding off. I'd rather not push this. We've blocked 745, which is pretty good. Okay, here we go. Hit the SU again. I'm going to start pushing at this point. If we die, we die. It's like I kind of just want to end this game as quickly as possible. Let's see if we can get like right here where we're still kind of hold down. Okay, he can't shoot me from there. Pretty much just the Excalibur and Artie now, that's it. So now we can push this, and we've done 3230 damage, guys. And like, this is what I mean, like, just take advantage of having these kinds of games, you know, where you're top tier. Okay, I knew we were gonna miss that shot. So again, like, you have to really aim your shots. I think they've balanced this thing enough where it's like, all right, the aiming time is kind of bad, you know, in certain things, but that wasn't bad at all. It wasn't bad at all. And we'll take a look at the shots against like the King Tiger and stuff, where these guys were pinning. We poked up pretty aggressively, right? We were exposing a lot of the tank, so I'm not surprised. We got high caliber out of that, and yeah, beautiful game, guys. I mean, beautiful game. So there we go, 3230 damage. And just so you guys can get an understanding of kind of how this vehicle looks based on the armor. So like, we got hit here in the lower plate. The Jackson hit us in the side here, so obviously you can't over angle the side. Again, King Tiger hitting the lower plate, BP hitting the lower plate, and then the Ricochet was here on the cap. Again, on the cap, Ricochet, Ricochet, and then even the M6 wasn't able to pierce like almost flat on the lower plate. And I think he might have had a smaller gun. So like against these lower tier tanks, man, yeah, you're gonna like wreck them, right? So let's get one more in here, and that'll be it for me. I do have to eat before I go to work and stuff, but I just really wanted to give you guys a session in this vehicle. I'm kind of hoping we get like a tier 8 or 9 game now, just so you can kind of see maybe some of the areas where this thing struggles, right? The pen is also not very high, I've noticed on this vehicle. But again, at tier 7, you know, like that's the thing you have to remember is this is a tier 7 vehicle. Whenever I get in this vehicle, I feel like I'm playing a tier 8. I would almost be willing to call this thing like a 7.5, a tier 7.5. Kind of like the LT432 is like an 8.5. I've always called the LT432 a tier 8.5, based on how its DPM is and how the statistics are looking, right? Okay, so this will be an 8 game. I'm trying to decide what I want to do with this thing from here. There's 2 Arty. I think I'd rather just go mid here. I think that's honestly the best call. I'm not really a fan of going this way. We could try it, but... I think we're going to try and go to the hill, and just, if we have to, we can change from there. But, like, on mines, I am not really good at determining, like, what you're supposed to do in these types of vehicles, man. Because, like, we don't want to be back here, right? We have the armor profile to be up close and personal for the most part. Not super up close and personal, but kind of up close and personal. Look at this guy. Look at this baboon over here. Let's see if he actually is a baboon. Panther. A Sousa. I've never heard of that clan. That's what he is. We also want to be careful of Arty. I don't want to lose a lot of HP to Arty, so I'm just going to kind of see if I can poke this carefully, like on the corner here. Not give Arty any, like, super easy shots. And just loading the APCRs because, again, pen is not that great. We're looking at 212 on these gold rounds, so. There's Caliban coming up. CS-44 coming up. Caliban's just deleting all my teammates. Okay, shot into the AMX. Stupid poke on his part. I definitely would not do that. Just kind of protect the hill here. I don't want anyone going up. That's my concern, is their team getting on the hill. So I think we can kind of prevent that from here. IS-2M is here. G-Sor is holding this side. We have a couple people over here. Even though we're down 3 tanks, this doesn't look awful. But I know we're very likely going to lose this game. It might just take a little while, you know? I think this G-Sor is kind of overextending over here, to be honest. It looks like he did clean up the IS or whatever that was. Okay, good. So just the even, at least for the west, is spotted, or was spotted here. He's trying to push up a little bit. I'm gonna poke this. I'd like to get a shot at this guy. Okay, good. He's gone. They didn't give this up, did they? I think they might have, actually. There, they're pushing on the east, which is interesting. Let's see if we can support the team from here, because I'm pretty sure that these guys, the TDs, will be able to hold off that Cali. See if I can somehow get shots into the back of the Caliban, maybe? this becomes tricky, right? It's very hard to poke this without getting, like, slaughtered. I'm gonna try it. CS-44. I don't want to get hit by the Boris because I know he was also back there. There he is. Good. Hit him. Just kind of trying to challenge these guys. I don't want to get whacked by Artie or anything back here. TVP is coming up. I'd like to also challenge this guy if I can. From over here, where I'm going to be kind of hold down. Okay. Even is up here though, so it should be okay. Don't die, man, please. Caliban's going to come behind me. I don't want to get hit by the Cali. Yeah, just kind of running out of support here, unfortunately. It is what it is. Okay, 1899 damage, 374 assist. This was a weird one, man. Like, we kind of went in here to support, but the TVP came out of nowhere. It's a lot of HP for me to try and cut down, and I think we just got... Like, our hands were just too full with this, right? Caliban was then coming up, so they were very mobile. This team, the enemy team, did very well. And so even if this TVP wasn't able to clean me up here, we lost our engine. He was tracking me, and it's like, you know, man, I can only do so much against these higher tiers and stuff like that, but also, like, he has good mobility and stuff like that. And the even just melted. Like, the even was just in a really bad spot, man. Like, if he was able to kind of get a couple shots in, maybe we would have survived a little bit longer. But I don't think anything we did was necessarily wrong. Like, nothing we were going to do was going to win this game. And this is why I kind of just... It's not that I dislike this game, guys, but I get to a point where I'm playing other games, because it gets to a point where you play, like, 9 out of 10 games you play, you have basically no impact on whether it's going to be a win or a loss. And that's just, like, the reality of this game. But anyway, I think we did really well with this session. I'm pretty happy with this game. I wish we did a little bit better. I don't know if taking the hill was the best play there. This guy he did 4,300 damage, and he's a pretty good player. So, you know, they had some good players. We didn't have that great of players. I don't consider myself a fantastic player in this vehicle, but again, I think we played it really, really well. 11k WTR. I mean, I'm never going to be dissatisfied with that, right? 2266 damage, guys, 507 assist, and we blocked 328, which is actually low. Like, I normally block more in this vehicle. I think the TVP obviously was able to like, run circles around us there at the end. So we didn't really block much there. I think the second game is where we blocked the most, right? On, like, the Tiger and stuff like that. And even then we were poking aggressively. So that's it for this vehicle. I'm sorry I can't really give you a better look at how the armor's working, because there's been games where I've blocked, like, a couple thousand, right, in these first 14 battles I played. But I think you're seeing where this thing works and where you can kind of bully people and where you can't, right? People are certainly going to be able to bully you when they can run circles around you. You know, the tank's very slow and you can't turn the turret all the way, etc. But overall, I think we did well. I hope you guys enjoyed this session in the SMV CC-56, and I'll see you for the next one. Take care. Bye-bye now.